two things. This time, I would like to tackle the inevitable shift of paradigm, which we can anticipate from the new problems, which is the shift from mobility problems, mobility projects toward strategic partnerships, research, development, innovations, and transfer programs. The famous Erasmus program, which for many sounds like fun, was in fact an important, politically, economically, very important matter. But we realized that it has already realized its historical role, and now it's time for more strategic partnerships. And then the second shift is inevitable, and in many institutions, in many countries, not very welcomed and not well understood, the shift towards cooperation with business, which is given a greater political prominence right now. One of the measures how good is international or the strategy of internationalization of a single institution could be to check how it organizes the mobility. Is a single mobility of a student a violation of the study program, or is it seen as a crime on his education? If you ask students about how they are prepared to participate in the mobility, about the language preparation, we discover a lot of shortages. And instead, the international strategic document should cover all the aspects of mobility. Mobility is not only, or maybe least, about European integration. Mobility is about attracting students, because knowledge, this they can get even from internet. What university must offer them are also people, emotions, and adventures. That's the challenge of universities for the moment. A strategic document should cover a lot of aspects which are not directly linked to the mobility, but which will at the end create a clear message to candidates. The predictability of institutions in terms of their mobility organizations. First of all, what deserves internationalization, intensive internationalization, are the doctoral programs, as they prepare the future staff of universities, which must speak languages, which should enter into professional life already with a network, etc., etc. Another imperative is the creation of the quality assurance systems, which will be managing all aspects of education and will put the international element in it. Joint programs, of course, language policies, internationalized curricula, which are very important because about 70% of students never participate in mobility, and they still need this international element in their studies. Then mobility windows should be also the modules where a student can go abroad for a period without any harm to his educational career and without the necessity to repeat 10 exams after coming back, etc. So, as you see, there is an intense and immense work to be done before the message to future candidates is sent that we organize mobility in a sane and transparent way. So there are, in general, 3 areas to address. It's academic programs. For many universities, it is the most difficult matter to tackle how to internationalize curricula. And the ways to do so are very simple. We investigated students how internationalized, in their opinion, the study programs are. And the questions were very simple. For example, how many times in this year you were obliged to check up in some foreign source, some information, in order to complete a task? Or how many times you were given the contact to some foreign scientist, and how relevant was his contribution to your study program. Another area is the research area, and also this field should be addressed in the international strategy, but also the administrative, the extracurricular activities, operations and services. And these actions must be formulated, first of all, according to the SMART technique, become the mainstream. They cannot be entrusted only to people who are maniacs of internationalization, and because then the internationalization of an institution depends only on the better and worse days of these people. The mainstream must be secured by the document, and it must oblige not only the authorities to perform, but also it must be clear from the document which unit is responsible for some little task, until when the task must be done. That's the only effective tool. More important is also the creation of the institutional culture, which can be, for example, reflected in motivational systems, but also in the human resources policies. The documents must also reach ahead of the reality, because many tasks of internationalization are done easier and quicker than anybody believes. But this is not a reason for an institution to get comfortable. And it's also not the feature of a mission, of a vision of the university. So this shortly is my contribution on this.